Hi, good people. I hope you're having a good week. I have had quite a challenging week. I've been struggling with anger and bitterness, but I'm glad to be here. I have overcome it to a certain capacity, and I'm grateful for that experience because it's making me more self-aware, aware of the things that trigger me, and I am learning how to control these things or how to react in a better way. So as I was going through the internet, I saw a video where one person was talking about how they went to ministry where they go door to door, and this lady offered them tea. And they were looking at each other wondering, how are we going to get through this cup of tea? Basically because they just had a full breakfast. It was very heavy and they were totally full. But she goes ahead and talks about how sometimes we have to endure the kindness of other people. And in their case, she says that they had to do that because their main aim was to preach or to deliver God's word to this lady. And maybe if they had not taken that cup of tea, the lady would have been offended, maybe. She wouldn't have had a positive attitude, she wouldn't have listened. So just by taking that cup of tea, it opened a leeway and it created a certain level of trust that they were able to deliver the message that they did. And I was thinking about it. Do we have to endure people's kindness? Are there situations where we have endured this kindness? I mean, kindness is supposed to be a good thing, but we have to endure this kindness. We have to persevere. It's something unpleasant. Sometimes kindness can be something unpleasant. And it took me back to a time in high school when I was not visited, and I cannot remember the exact occasion that it was, but I wasn't visited. My friend was visited and she called me. I was happy, we went, we talked, we were laughing, but then it came time to eat and share a meal. So I don't know what was happening, but they wanted to go for more food, and I immediately felt this sense of, is it lack? Or I was like, my goodness, am I the one who is making them go for more food? I felt burdened by this act, and you can't imagine what I did. I told them, let me go to the washrooms and then I'll be back. And ladies and gentlemen, guess what? I never went back. Instead, I went to the school kitchen and they were serving rice and dengu, and I served and I started eating. And after a while, my friend came looking for me and she was wondering, why did you just disappear like that? We were ready to eat, to share a meal together. And I know they were disappointed because I was like family to them. But here I was feeling ashamed and burdened. And I don't think I went back, but I could see the disappointment in her face. And that thing has bugged me since that day. As much as I moved over it, it's something that I always remember. And sometimes I think, sometimes it's good to accept people's kindness. Sometimes they just want to help you. They want to put a smile on your face. I know in this world there are so many things that happen that will make us second guess people's kindness. But pray for God's wisdom that you may be able to know, is this a kind act, one that I should receive, or is it one that I should reject? And I also went ahead and thought about what are some of the reasons that we might be rejecting people's kindness. And I thought pride and independence. Sometimes we're just too proud. Some people do not want to accept help because we are just too proud. You do not want to accept that you need that kind of help. You want to feel like you're independent. And this mostly, I can relate it to most ladies. Most ladies, we want to feel independent, want to feel like we can do things on our own, which is okay, which is a good thing, but there has to be a limit where you should be able to accept, indeed, I need some help here. Sometimes allow people to just take care of you. Do not be proud. It's good to be independent, but it's sometimes good to accept help. It's graceful. It makes a woman look. I think some people like that about women. When you accept help, and I mean, honestly, most men, I believe, they feel proud when they take care of you or when they offer this kindness. Another thing is we fear obligation. We fear that if I accept this kindness, maybe I'll owe them a favor, and we do not want that burden on us. While some people might expect that kind of favor in return, it's not always the case. So again, wisdom to discern this situation. And another thing is sometimes our self-esteem might be very low. You will not accept kindness if you feel unworthy. You feel like you don't deserve this. For example, someone would want to buy you a very expensive dress and you'll be like, no, I'm sorry, I cannot take it. Why? Because you feel you're unworthy to wear this dress that costs 20,000. Someone buys you say a watch and it's very expensive and you feel, I cannot accept this. I am not even qualified enough to accept this. And I thought it's the same way where sometimes we're offered or given responsibility and we refuse, majorly because we do not believe in ourselves. We think that some positions are too big for us to do or to be in, and we keep telling ourselves that we can't, when in fact, if we got that opportunity, we would do it very well if we believed in ourselves. Then another thing is sometimes we're suspicious of other people's motives. Sometimes someone might offer a kind gesture and you doubt them. Is he or she really being sincere? Or are they planning something evil? Do they have any ulterior motives? So yeah, some people might reject kindness because they suspect that it is not actually from a pure heart. And then there's also this thing about stereotyping. Like in our society, it's believed that if a man asks for help, he's weak. And this stereotyping or this notion has made men very afraid. They're afraid to speak up. They're afraid to accept people's help. A man will go through a lot of struggle, but he will not stand up to say, I'm sorry, this is too much and I need help, simply because they do not want to be seen as weak men. So as a society, we should also stop putting this pressure and normalizing some things. It's actually a sign of courage and strength when a man approaches you, especially when they're going through a hard time, open up to you and tell you, I'm going through this and I need help. Sometimes it's not easy for them. So asking for help or accepting people's kindness is not weakness. Men, you're not weak for asking for help. You're not weak for accepting help or people's kindness. And then some also fear to be vulnerable, because sometimes accepting kindness means that you need to be vulnerable. Think of a situation where maybe this person wants to pay your school fees. They pay the whole year's school fees. And then now they want to talk to you about your struggles. we'll often feel like we owe this person an explanation. We owe this person a transparent experience of our life. And some people are just not ready to open up. So they hide. They do not want this kindness, because if I receive that kindness, now he or she will start asking me, oh, how is your relationship? How are your parents? And as human beings, when someone helps you, we feel obligated to open up. It feels unkind to not give them at least that much. And we also sometimes fear to accept kindness because of past experiences. Sometimes we've accepted kindness and it has come to bite us in the back. Think of people who have been given jobs, for example. Well, again, not out of kindness, but maybe because of their qualifications. But someone comes back and tells them, remember I gave you a job, now I need you for a certain favor, for a certain sexual favor. I need you to do this and this work for me. So much burden in receiving kindness. Some people have been hurt. They have gotten into relationships that were not good for them just because it started with an act of accepting kindness. So all in all, what I want to tell us today is that there are some kindness that are good, and we should ask for God's wisdom so that we know at what level, from what people should I accept this kindness from. We should do a deep introspection. If it is our self-esteem, try and work through that, and so that we can be able to believe in ourselves and accept these opportunities or favors that come our way, because indeed we're good enough. And I pray that we are also kind to other people. When you get an opportunity, be kind without expecting anything in return. And I read somewhere, someone said that you have not yet done something great in this world if you have not done something for someone who cannot repay you. And I thought that was very powerful. See you next time. Have a lovely day.